All right, guys, welcome to Cars with Lars. We are here at Weil Motorsport in Walpole, Massachusetts. Now, my plan was to take the E30 on a trip to North Carolina because I have a wedding there. And I'm a car guy, not a plane guy. So when the opportunity presents itself, I always prefer to drive as opposed to fly. Now, Jake is the owner and master mechanic here at Weil Motorsports, and he came through for me in a big way. He got this thing ready to go, but at the last minute, they ran into one little problem. So I'm gonna kind of hand it over to him.
Yeah.
He's gonna explain it better than I can, but yeah, you can kind of take it away.
So he had an external head gasket leak on an M20 motor, and we said to him, you know, we have 72 hours, we can get this head gasket off, we can check to make sure it's flat, we can put the head back on. Well, we put the head back on, we just did 25 miles with it, the leak is still there a little bit, a little dime-sized drip on the bottom. Now the question is, do you send it?
And we're kind of I'm leaning towards yes. It might not be the smartest thing to do, but I've made it this far, so.
Yeah, we know we have to pull the head and send it off to the machine shop, which takes a few days. We filled up his 5-gallon jug with, or 5-liter jug with oil in the back. Life's an adventure. We don't have to worry about steering or brakes. We know those are good.
Yep. So we're definitely taking a little bit of a risk here, but I'm gonna take you guys along on the adventure. If anything goes wrong, it'll make for a cooler video. And if you guys are anywhere in the New England area, whether you have a 74 2002 or a 2025 X5M, contact Jake and his team here. They'll get you hooked up from maintenance to engine swap, suspension overhaul, you name it. But next stop is Boston to pick up my suit, and we're gonna check the oil every 100 miles, as the master here advises, and we'll go from there. I'll see you guys in the next clip. All right, guys, we are on the road right now. I'm headed to Boston to pick up my suit, and then we will hit the road to North Carolina to get to the wedding. I am way behind. I have like 20 minutes before this place closes. Ended up talking at the shop for a while longer than I anticipated. I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty paranoid. I'm a little bit nervous right now. As you guys heard from Jake, this thing is still not completely cured. The head gasket in the head is probably a little bit warped, so there's a chance that I'm getting some coolant in my oil, and the worst case scenario is that I spin a bearing, effectively making the motor useless. I really hope I don't run into any sort of issues like that. It would suck to get stranded 300 or 400 miles, let alone 800 miles from home. I'm gonna keep you guys updated, of course. Again, I am epically and unreasonably paranoid and anxious about this motor going. Let's hope we don't have any problems. Like I said, if something bad like that does happen, it'll make for a cool video, but let's try to keep this one PG and really hope that I don't run into any issues. Please pray with me, guys. So far, the car runs great. They did a lot to the front suspension, and it definitely turns in a little bit nicer. It feels a little bit tighter in the front end, so that's always a positive. I'm trying to look on the bright side here. I'm not sure exactly what I did with my mics. I think I threw them in the back real quick, but I hope I didn't forget those at the shop. That would be tragic. We successfully made it to the city. I'm feeling a little bit better about everything. I don't have much time. Once I get this suit, I will be so much happier. It's gonna take me 12 minutes to go 1.5 miles, basically stuck in traffic here. It's a beautiful afternoon in Boston, I'll tell you that much. Car right now is running fine, but the thing is, with this type of problem I'm having, it's not gonna show itself as an issue. If it does, it's because the motor will seize up on the side of the highway. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Love dogs. Miss mine. Honestly, if this car shits the bed after the wedding, it's not the worst thing in the world, as long as I can get there, because once I start moving south, I can't really go back on anything, you know what I mean? It's game time. So far, so good. I'm about 12 miles into my journey. I'm actually getting some pretty good looks from people in the E30. I'm sure it looks great. It's very dirty right now, but that's why you get a white car, guys. Get a white car and no one will know it's dirty. Passing Fenway, there's all the traffic. I think we're past the thick of it. I might have to park this bitch up and run. It's 1 mile. And it's taking about 15 minutes if I drive, but I can run about 6 minutes. I'm not an athlete by any means, but I can definitely run a 6-piece. Beautiful M8 competition right here. I was expecting that. That's why I got out the film. Makes a pretty good noise, and it is a beautiful color. I'm not sure what color that is. Maybe something like San Marino blue, but gorgeous. Okay guys, we are actually generationally back. The bag has been secured and it does not look like there's any oil in my coolant. It is a beautiful evening in Boston. Looks like someone lost their balloon up there, but that's okay. The oil looks good. The oil level has maintained right up at 5 quarts, so I should be all set there. I can probably take the tape off my sunroof now as well. Definitely having a little problem with this seal. I'm gonna have to address that at the next gas station. But the next thing to do is to get fuel. We'll get on the road and hopefully get some miles in before the sun goes down. But I am amped to see that the oil level has not drained too much. And on top of that, it doesn't look like any coolant has mixed just yet. Take wins as they come, but we are good. Next stop will be the Carolinas and about 800 miles. I'm gonna stop at a hotel tonight and I'm not gonna do this whole drive in one go. I have a little bit of buffer time, but the interior is loaded. I got all my snacks, cold stuff in there. I have my food in there and we are all set and we are good to go. So I will catch you when I'm on the highway and we are moving forward. Cheers. Okay guys, first fuel stop. I'm getting absolutely smoked right now on premium. Check that out. Luckily this car is very fuel efficient, so I don't have to worry too much about wasting gas. This thing actually gets 25 miles to the gallon on the highway, which is phenomenal. I'm also going to check the oil and take a piss here, and then we are going to be on the road for probably the remainder of the fuel tank. 452 per gallon for 93. Something I want to say, putting a chip in this car for 93 octane was a huge mistake. It probably gave me 5 to 10 extra horsepower, but now it means I have to spend an extra $1.20 per gallon. 51 bucks for the fill up. That's actually not too bad. I'm going to take a piss. We'll check the oil and update you there.
Because you have a good story. You got a dream story.
Okay guys, we are about 150 miles into the trip. I'm not stopping because I need fuel. I am stopping to check the oil, and the oil looks absolutely wonderful. I have not lost any to what it looks like, so it's not leaking too bad. I've been keeping it under 3,500 RPMs. Usually these M20s, you can cruise at like 4 grand all day long. In fact, I drove 3,000 miles home from Idaho at 4,000 RPM. I didn't have any issues. Let me show you a little oil sample. I'll pull the dipstick, but the oil looks phenomenal. I'm not gonna let that get to me. I'm still gonna keep it at low RPMs, but we are somewhere probably 30 miles or so outside of New York. And look at this bullshit marketing. Supreme fuel, yeah, Supreme 413. Anything you get off the highway is always gonna be expensive. But yeah, let me show you guys a little oil sample. Let me find a place to prop this up. First off, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, if the autofocus is working, but the dipstick, we are right there. We're at the perfect levels. And then oil-wise, that oil's looking pretty great. So I'm gonna keep positive. I'm not gonna push the car too hard. Everything so far is looking pretty decent. And this is my first stop to check the oil. Well, second technically, but I'm about 150 miles in. So far so good. I'm probably gonna do 200 more miles tonight. Like I said, get a motel somewhere. And we'll catch up with you guys when I stop for the hotel, but we're looking pretty decent so far. Again, I'm behind schedule, so I don't like to stop unless I really need to, but we gotta keep an eye on these oil levels and make sure that I'm not blowing this piece of shit out of the water. Hey, who knows? Maybe if I blow this motor, I'll put an S52 in here. Onward and upwards, keep moving. Oh, it's freezing. It's probably 35 degrees. Yo, check me out though. Cinnamon apple rice cakes, 50 calories a pop. It's actually not the best road trip fuel because when you're on a road trip, you want the most calorie dense foods as possible to take up as little space and be convenient. But we are fucking live. This thing's running like a top. We are at a speedway. I forgot that you don't pump your own gas in Jersey, so I was a little bit suspect when the guy came up to my car and he started pumping my gas, but you know what, it is what it is. Last time that happened in Jersey, 2 a.m., guy came up to my car, started pumping my gas, and I freaked the fuck out. I drove away. I thought he was holding me up. to be honest with you. I thought that's what was happening. All is well. The oil still looks great. Over 250 miles. I actually haven't lost basically anything. We are in Amish country right now. There are Amish people fucking everywhere. I thought that was a Pennsylvania thing, but hear me out. I'm gonna drive for another hour. I gotta have about 700 miles left, and then I'm gonna get some sleep. It's 11:30 p.m. on a Thursday right now. I'm probably gonna get an oil change before I return back on my home trip, just to make sure everything's okay, but the car is holding up very well. I wish I had more to tell you guys, but really nothing too eventful has happened quite yet. But yeah, Speedway, man. Look at that Recaro reflection. Speedway, baby. Yo, also, speaking of the Recaros, these seats are not bad for a long distance travel. So if you're looking to get Recaro pole positions, but you're worried about how comfortable are these gonna be, don't worry about it at all. They're actually great seats. I would argue they're more comfortable than my stock IS seats. So there you go. Amish country. I love it, bro. Mountain Valley spring water with Santa Cruz electrodes, and I'm about to have some chicken salad and check the Instagram account. Make sure my fans are doing okay. And we will catch back up with you guys shortly here. Cheers. All right, guys, we're here at check it out. We are at the Quality Inn, somewhere in Pennsylvania. We are posted up. We're gonna catch some Z's. Right off the highway, very efficient. Grimes, Pennsylvania. All right, so I'm gonna eat a little chicken salad, have a rice cake, maybe a yogurt, and then we're gonna gear up for tomorrow. Probably check over the footage. It's 1:42 a.m. right now. $107 for the night. Can you believe that? It's the best deal I could find. Quality Inn. Of course I parked away from everyone. All right, let's get rolling. Let's get inside. There she is. Let's hope she's still there in the morning, guys. Maybe I can just go in this way, huh? Take the elevator like a peasant. And we're there. This looks like a good place to get murdered, huh? I shouldn't say that, man. That's not cool. All right, let's do a little reveal. Check this out, guys. Holy fucking cow. We are totally kitted up in this place. Look at this beautiful bathroom. It almost has space for a double vanity. Got a nice shower. Maybe the quality is in on this one. Let's get this on. Guys, we outdid ourselves. TV, microwave, don't mind if I do. Not particularly. At least we can see the highway. But yeah, this is lodging for the night. Let me get set up here, hold on. Check out this spread, guys. Cranberry walnut chicken salad, of course. Cinnamon apple rice cakes, of course, with the remainder of my Mountain Valley spring water with electrolytes. And a 25 gram of protein. Strawberry cheesecake. Focus, son. Strawberry cheesecake, boom. Let's get to grubbing, brother. Got a little gas station spoon right here. We are so back, baby. All right, conclusion of the first day. Let's check this out. Walnuts make all the difference. I'm gonna check out the footage and see how everything came out from today. So far, so good. The car is running phenomenally. I'm about 350 miles in. I have about 500 to go. One thing that does need to be addressed, I need to get the summer tires on the car because those all seasons out there, especially in the rain, are absolutely dog shit. It's 2:10, probably get on the road by 9 a.m. We'll get rolling. You guys will see tomorrow. I'll be on the road by 10:30, watch. But you gotta plan for 9. Cheers. Well, guys, I had a small microphone malfunction, but do you remember in the last clip I said despite shooting for 9:30, I'll probably end up being on the road at 10:30? Well, it looks like my prediction was bang on. I know myself pretty well. Here I'm also just talking about how since I have a full tank of fuel and over 300 miles of driving range, I really don't need to worry about stopping at a gas station. Also, I don't know if you guys can resonate with this, but I do not like eating first thing in the morning. Just don't feel like it. So what I'm doing is I just have my water or seltzer with some electrolytes and boom, I'm good to go. Don't need food, don't need fuel. One thing I find kind of funny here is you can tell by my body language and my smile, I don't realize the diabolical and obscene levels of traffic I'm about to hit.
This 500-mile, 8-hour drive that should be pretty easy is going to turn into a total cluster. But hindsight's always 20/20. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. Let's keep rolling.
Pennsylvania roads are absolutely gorgeous, always. These rolling hills, okay, it's not as beautiful as out west or something like that. I don't really know if you can see, but when you're just going through the mountains, it's actually a very, very elevation dense land. It is a beautiful day. Conditions are clear. It's about, what is it? 50 degrees, 44 degrees. Not too bad. I'm gonna run out this tank of fuel and then I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna get some food in me and I will also check the oil. Look at that. Lady Liberty. Look at these beautiful highways though. I like the visibility that you get. You can just totally see out for, you know, a mile in front of you. Makes for really good driving conditions. This is about where we're sitting. Ideally, I'd be sitting closer to like 4 grand. But I really don't want to stress out this motor and piss coolant into the oil if I can help it. Crown Vic, great car. They made 3.5 million of these over a 20-year production run. Ex-cop cars, you can pick them up for under 5 grand. Check out my video on Instagram about those if you're curious. That's a great first car. Hey guys, I'm totally getting smoked right now. I don't know if you can see up there. It's as much as I can zoom with this lens, but there is so much traffic. There's rain. Okay, yes, check this out. I've added about an hour. There's a good view. Look at all that. Unbelievable. Everyone's smoking me right now. Car's doing great though. No issues so far. I'm not even worried about the oil at this point. Terrible, terrible traffic. You got to deal with it. Take shit as it comes, but this is very unfortunate. Probably going to get there at about 8:30, 9 p.m. now, where I initially anticipated probably getting there around 7, but it is what it is. All right, this is the last gas stop before we're all set. I actually just got an overwhelming amount of people coming up to me. I actually had 3 people come up to me in about 10 minutes asking about the car. This kid, Zach from New Jersey, asked if he could take a photo. And I said, what kind of car do you think it is? He says, is it an M3? No, it's not an M3. You're close though. Everything's running awesome. After all that time in traffic, the weather's finally starting to clear up and I am on my last 200 miles of the trip. So let's get rolling. We're almost there. We're very close. Ugh. All right, guys, I try not to be negative, but I'm kind of getting unlucky here. People just keep on crashing. There's not much I can do about it, but we are stuck in traffic again. My mic receiver's about to die, so I gotta let this thing go, but very unfortunate here. Just keeping it in first gear and sitting at 10 miles an hour. 28 minutes to go 1.8 miles. Might as well get out and fucking run. Well, guys, I asked for no traffic and I received it. Unfortunately, I am gonna be late. Everyone is out. This trip I calculated at about 11 and a half hours and it's actually taken me about 16. I don't know what happened. There must have been a fucking trade show in Virginia or something, but driving out here in the country, North Carolina, and these open roads, I mean, it is just absolutely beautiful. You can just sit at these higher speeds. This is when I wish I had a fast car. Like an E90 M3 would be absolutely perfect here, sitting at 120 the whole way. Also, this new alignment is awesome. The road's a little bit curved to the right, but this thing tracks amazing now. But we are about 90 miles out. I'm gonna check the oil one more time because I've kind of been sitting at pretty high RPMs. Hopefully the return trip home, I'll take the Virginia Beach route and it'll be a little bit more scenic. And we'll go from there. We're generationally back. You can see me on the screen. Guys, we are generationally back. I am so happy to be here. It's funny, the first half of this video, I was totally complaining about the traffic and how long it was taking in the rain, but now I'm here with the boys. We're headed to the wedding and I'm super happy, super grateful to be here. Show them what's out there. show them the beauty, Indian Beach, North Carolina. So I probably won't film too much at the wedding because I want to just enjoy it with the boys. But we're all spruced up. Suit looks like shit. Also took a crazy power nap. So again, generationally back. That is the theme of this weekend. Let me flip the camera around.
Should we pan in?
Hey, we can pan in there. This is my boy Gavin and Alex, college buddies, looking sharp. We'll do the slow pan down. Shooting you guys in 4K 30 right now. Bag of trash. We are having a great time here. Next time you'll see me, I'll be on the road, headed back. Might take the Virginia Beach route home, but just wanted to give you guys a little update.
All right.
And that's Mr. Liam Fox himself coming out of here, bro.
What's up? What are we doing?
And it is a generational come up. All right, guys, you'll catch me on the way home. Cheers. Okay, guys, it is Sunday, April 13th, about 11 a.m. Checked out of the Airbnb like an hour and a half ago, and pretty much time to get out of here. The festivities are done for the weekend, and it was a great wedding for sure. Figured I'd stop here at one of the beaches first because this place in the off season, which is probably until about May, is totally completely empty. So there's no issues with parking. I basically have the entire beach to myself. It's only like 58, 60 degrees, but I figured it would still be nice to get in the water, kind of get refreshed before my drive. So I'm gonna pretty much take off here. Might meet up with someone for lunch, and then we will head home. Still considering getting an oil change depending on how it looks when I pull it out of there. But as of right now, I mean, just trying to enjoy the small amount of the day I do have here. So we'll get on the road in a minute. All right, guys, last little pit stop here before I head onto the actual highway and we get away from some of these back roads. But I'm in Vanceboro, North Carolina right now. Totally out in the middle of nowhere, but it's absolutely beautiful, super peaceful, totally quiet out here. It's absolutely gorgeous. The car's doing great. I love pulling over in these kind of quiet little back road, backcountry neighborhoods here. It's mostly farmland, but it's cool because it's different. All right, guys, we found a perfect spot in the backcountry, the southern backcountry here, to stop and make a sandwich. Check out the goods right here. That's awesome. We have some great driving roads in Rhode Island and New England where I live, but none of them kind of have this southern, again, backcountry vibe to them. It's very quiet. You can hear the crickets. Very warm. It's still probably 70 degrees out here at 5 p.m. So I'm just enjoying this before I get going. And now it's actually time to clock in some miles. I've just been so distracted with kind of enjoying some of this different scenery that I don't have at home. But I'm, again, in no rush, so I'm taking my time here. Got a shitload of ice, got some rolls, got some turkey, cheese, pickles for the sandwich. We are good to go. But yeah, we'll get rolling here in a sec. Morning, guys. Here we are at the hotel. We are about to bounce out of here. Place is pretty much totally empty at this point. Nice morning here in Virginia, probably 60 degrees and not too bad outside. There's a little bit of humidity. I'm absolutely the person that will take a shittier hotel room or a shittier rental or whatever it is to kind of save a few dollars, but this one was a little bit nasty. Definitely not as nice as the Quality Inn that I stayed in on the way here. Just kind of smelled weird, smelled like cigarettes, smelled very moist in here. The shower was, the water seemed kind of like milky. I mean, it's fine, man, I guess, but definitely was not worth saving the $40. In hindsight, I probably would have rather just spent the extra 30, 40 bucks and gotten a decent place to stay, but so let's see, we got about 400 miles home. We're gonna have to go through Philadelphia. I actually tried to time this up so by the time I go through Philly and New York, hopefully it won't be, you know, before 3 p.m. I mean, dude, it really does not smell good. It smells like fermenting cheese or something. I'm so serious. It smells like cheese. I'm gonna check the oil before we take off. I do have a full tank of fuel. That gas in Virginia is so cheap, $3.50, $3.60 for premium. I'll take it all day. So I'm all good on fuel. I don't need to eat first thing in the morning. So I will just probably clock a couple 100 miles under my belt. I've tried to plan this in a way where I'm gonna be going through Philadelphia and New York, hopefully before 5 p.m. So I really shouldn't have any issues there with traffic, but you never know. I got pretty unlucky on the way here. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead here and do the right thing. I'm stopping at a Jiffy Lube. I think the car is probably fine, but I did check the dipstick and the oil level was below the fill mark. So in theory, this car should be leaking oil. I shouldn't be producing or gaining oil. So that tells me a little bit of the coolant has definitely made its way into the oil supply. I look on my maps and there's a Jiffy Lube, you know, 1.25 miles down the street. It was only a minute from the hotel. So I'm just gonna not risk it. I'm gonna take this thing in. I'm gonna have them drain it, fill it, leave the filter as is, and then hopefully get back on the road. I asked them to put in 20 weight 50. They say, yeah, we don't carry that. It's like, bro, you guys are a fucking oil shop, man. No fucking 20 weight 50 is crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna ask them. They don't really seem to give a shit. Also, you see these little metal bars, the yellow on the ground? I don't think my car can fit under that. Or I think it'll scrape the yellow. So we're gonna have to see what's good with that. I'm gonna keep you guys updated. But Jiffy Lubes are the shit. All right, guys, we just got her topped up. Jake, my mechanic, texted me back and said I was probably fine and not to really worry about it, but I figured I'd be better safe than sorry. He also said better safe than sorry. So I said, let me go with that route. I got the oil changed. We're gonna be back on the road here. I might get some McDonald's breakfast, because fuck it, why not? But I feel a lot more confident knowing that the oil has been changed, and any milkiness that I saw on that dipstick, theoretically, I just reset the timer. You know, I only have like 500 or 600 miles left to get home, but no, probably 500, honestly, probably 450, some shit like that. But I figure, again, better safe than sorry, so I did get the oil changed, and then I'll get it changed again, unfortunately. I mean, I'm burning through oil, I feel very wasteful, but it is what it is, so let's get on the road. Yo, we are in Delaware right now. What I'm realizing is that Delaware does not have an I-95 that runs through it. I-95 runs through the northern tip, but if you're going through the middle of the state, the entire thing is kind of made up of these, you know, 1 mile sections between stoplights. And even though you do save about 50, 60 miles, it's not really worth it because you're going so slow and you're constantly speeding up, slowing down. But it looks like we're kind of getting out of that right now. It's a beautiful day, 70 degrees here. The car's running great, by the way. Yeah, every time you get some speed, you have to slow right down. It's just very densely packed stretches of road that really aren't highway. It's like a 55 mile an hour zone. So yes, I saved a few miles, but I basically took the same time. I guess the scenic route was worth it. It was cool to go on the Chesapeake Bay Tunnel, I guess, right? People talk about that. I might as well cross it off the bucket list. But yeah, we were about 350 miles out. So far, so good. This pretty much, for me, marks kind of the mental end of the trip. Got this Ford Transit on my ass. I'll keep you guys lightly updated along the way, but for the most part, I think we're in good standings. We're currently sitting at like 1,200 miles total for the entire trip. And the car has been doing very well. So I would say up until this point, we are pretty successful. And looking back, I do not regret taking the car at all. With the hotels and stuff, oh yeah, by the way, that hotel last night was fucking decrepit. It smelled egregious, despicable. It smelled horrible. But whatever, I'm fine. And I don't have any black mold in my lungs, so that is a pro right there. But yeah, I have no regrets taking the car. With the hotels, it was probably about the same price as flying. But again, so worth it. I love driving this car every time I get the opportunity.
There she goes, guys. She did it, 280. Come on, turn. This would be a very appropriate time for the odometer to break. But this car is just too good for me. Yeah, man, 280. I don't think that 8 wants to turn. That second digit hasn't seen 8 in a long time. Look at that, though, 280. We are stuck in traffic still. About an hour and a half out. But there she goes. All right, guys, we just got back into Rhode Island, so this is the last stretch of the trip here. I'll do a little bit of a recap when I get home, the total miles, total hours traveled, and anything that I didn't film, I'll let you guys in on that as well. Every time I drive this car, every time I drive it across country, even though I've had it for 3 years and about 25,000 miles, it always surprises and shocks me how well it handles long distances and sustained high RPMs at 85, 90 miles an hour. Now, I understand that's not too fast for a BMW, but you have to remember this car is almost 40 years old and again has almost 300,000 miles on it. And I'll let her sing the rest of the way home at 75 miles an hour, nice and easy. But this thing did great. It always does great. Up until this point, it's never really let me down. All right, guys, the car has safely made it home. We are back after the trip. I can't really have wished for a better performance and outcome of this vehicle. Like I said, a catastrophic failure would have made for a much more interesting video, but I'm still very glad that I did not get stranded, 800 miles away from home. This thing desperately needs a wash. I have tons of bug kill on the mirrors, and I'm assuming on this front lip. Yeah, that'll happen though. You're killing bugs. Super, super dirty paint. I don't know if you can see that, but a wash is the least of my concerns right now. A couple of cool stats for you guys from the trip. So it was a total of 1,827 miles, so 1,800 miles just thereabout. Averaging 25 miles per gallon. I used 73 gallons of fuel, and at the average cost between all my fill-ups at $3.92 a gallon, the fuel cost on that 1,800 mile road trip down to Atlantic Beach, North Carolina and back was only $286. Now, you have to factor in the time that I spent. It was a total of almost 23 hours of driving, maybe a little bit more, maybe closer to 24, 25. And I stayed in a hotel, which was about $150 for both of those. The second one was extremely shitty. It would have been about the same price to fly, maybe a fifth of the time that it took me. But the moral of the story here is, guys, if you have a car that you really, really enjoy driving and it's something that you can trust to be reliable over a sustained period on the highway, take the car. Now, everyone I talked to thought I was pretty crazy for driving down instead of just flying, but they don't get it, right? We're not talking about a Toyota Camry or a Honda CR-V. I actually own a Honda CR-V, so no hate to that car there. But we're talking about driving one of my favorite cars ever, something that I'm still feeling so lucky to own. And after you get home from one of these long road trips, you have a new appreciation and respect for the car. And even though this is a very small sports car from the 80s, I still can fit my bag up there with my laptop, my Yeti cooler with all the food, sweatshirts and shoes in the back, and then the trunk space on this thing is still phenomenal. Got my clothes bag there, my camera, some extra oil. Basically treating this little 2,700 pound E30 like a full family SUV. Had a little bit of spillage there in Virginia. Oil looks great, coolant looks great. I really didn't need to top anything off. We'll bring it to the shop this week. We'll get the analysis from Jake and the team, get that head gasket squared away. But again, moral of the story is, if you want to go on a road trip, if you want a deeper sense of connection with your car, don't worry about the mileage. In fact, I actually have a goal to get this thing to 300,000 miles. Did cross over the 280,000 mile mark. We're at 280,110 right now. We're trying to get this thing up to 300,000 miles as soon as possible because I think that would be so cool.
probably my favorite thing about the car is the high mileage aspect. Every time someone's asking me about it, the first thing I tell them is how many miles it has. So you guys just got the recap. Again, if you have a car that's reliable and you love driving it, take it on a road trip. It brings you such a great connection and sense of enjoyment and appreciation to own a vehicle like this that even 40 years later is still very, very reliable. Love this thing. All right, cheers guys.